Well, we are extremely pleased to be with you here today. And we get that the question of trying to untangle when to stay in a relationship and when to leave is a big one, especially when it feels like there are deeper roots involved to untangle, meaning children together, meaning a long-term relationship with extended family and just a deeper investment in general in the relationship. And we want to just have you breathe there. Just breathing into the investment of this relationship feels so big. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do when I feel like so much is at stake. Just breathe there. Breathe there, because we get it. It feels like a lot. It feels like the future of your children's lives is at stake. It feels like their emotional well-being is at stake when you separate and create different homes, and what we will say to you is this is a huge investment and a lot is at stake, but not in the way that you think. Your perspective is looking at it as if so much is at stake and the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and this decision could affect everybody in a negative way, and it's more of the investment feels like a weight, and what feels at stake is that you're responsible for everyone else in this scenario. And what we want you to get is that what's really at stake is this bigger picture of each individual that's involved in this. We want you to get that your children are powerful creators, incredibly powerful creators, and they want to be in an empowering environment. So being in a home where love is represented as being disempowered, being in a home where the two adults are not speaking their truth, that are playing victim roles or passive-aggressive behavior roles or not communicating with each other, that's a disempowering scenario for your children. And so we want you to step back a bit and really look at, if I want my children to grow up as empowered beings, as empowered creators, I want to be an example for them of what an empowered being looks like, how an empowered being acts, how an empowered, loving, compassionate, committed, communicating, relationship looks like. A person in that relationship, how does that look? Well, it looks like I take a stand for myself. It looks like I have boundaries where I'm not letting my standards drop, where I'm not letting myself be run over in this relationship, and where I'm not pushing my agenda on my partner. It goes both ways. It goes both ways, and your role is untangling what's your stuff and what's not your stuff, and your role is in stepping into communication with your partner. And even if he is not willing to step up at the level that you are, it doesn't matter, because you stepping up is you stepping up to you, is you being an example for you and you being an example for your children of what it means to really be in a committed relationship, meaning that you're so committed to this relationship that you're committed to bringing it to a full circle of healing, meaning that you're ready to bring it to completion, whether that means the two of you stepping up and your husband stepping up and going in the direction of an even more deeply committed, because it's like you're at an intersection where really it can go either way. It can go in your relationship getting deeper by both of you opening up and your hearts getting more generous and you both stepping in, which is a fuller, deeper conversation. Or it could really be at a point where the most loving and nurturing and launching thing for both of you, you and your husband, is to go in new directions, separate directions that are far more empowering for both of you. And with you in particular, we feel that a bit more, but what we want you to get is that you have to commit 100% to the relationship, not 50%, not 40%, because whether you're staying together or whether you're consciously uncoupling, not breaking up in bitter divorce, but a conscious uncoupling is 100% commitment to the relationship in its present form, in its healing form, and in its future form. That's how you consciously uncouple, is you commit 100% to your ever-evolving relationship. And with the father of your children, that relationship is for life. You will always be co-parents. You will always have these children together. So start that committed relationship now, where you are committing 100% to, let's make this work for all four of us. Let's make this work for everybody involved. How can we empower ourselves as individuals? How can we empower our kids through being the example of this is how our channel, dear Ina, is the emotional one here, because they feel the power of it. This is how you teach your children to be in relationships that are conscious, that honor themselves, that honor their partner, and that honor the little ones that they are in partnership with. So, if you choose to take the route of uncoupling from your partner at this time, know that your kids were in on this whole contract, all four of you, before you came into human form. Your kids knew that they would be, that part of their journey would be in the separation of the nuclear family. and that they would thrive and benefit from it. They would thrive and benefit, and more comes out. So many humans think that divorce ruins the child and causes long-term damage, and what we will say is it's not the divorce, it's how the parents handle it and how they interact with the children and how they set the scenario up. There is huge possibility for kids coming out of an uncoupling feeling even more loved, feeling even more empowered, and really seeing what's possible in relationships and getting even more love and affection from each parent and moving into a new space where they get to create a new room and a new version of themselves, and they get new possibility, and it's just everything can get magnified in an uncoupling and in the creation of two new worlds. And when the parents are working together, it's just, when the parents are committed to each other as co-parents, and when the parents are committed to the kids, whole new worlds of happiness and possibility are available that aren't when two people are staying together because they feel obligated. You don't want to be an example of an obligatory relationship. We're married, we have kids, we have to stay here and just make it work and rustle through the mud. You want to be creating your relationship from a place of freedom. So notice whether your relationship, just breathe there into, does staying in this relationship feel like an obligation, or do I feel free to stay here? Do I feel like committing to this relationship and really making it work feels like freedom to me? It's coming from a freedom of choice. It's coming from a freedom of inner decision. And so that's the place that you really wanna sink into. You want to feel free in your relationships at all times. You don't want to feel like you're stuck there. You don't want to feel like you're obligated to be there. And you want to be the example for your children of what it looks like to be free and to be in a relationship and to be so generous in your loving that you know when it's time to separate, or that you know when it's time to stay together and make it deeper and recommit to a new level of love. And there's no right or wrong or in any of it, but use your North Star, use your compass, use freedom as your compass, use empowerment as your compass, use what feels best to me, what's most generous with my heart, where am I being stingy with my heart, where can I open my heart more and lean into what's possible in this relationship, whether it's our relationship getting deeper or whether it's our relationship going in two new directions. Use your North Star as possibility and freedom and empowerment for all. And you will always find your way through that. We are always here for you, and we are always willing to go deeper with you. And with that, there is so much love here for you, dear one.